Lisa Ling has been kind enough to give us a window into the moments since that plane touched down, and also some of the moments leading up to it. She joins us tonight exclusively live by phone. Lisa, first of all, thank you so much for talking with us tonight.
Oh, thanks, Erica.
I think the first question, not only for us here at CNN, but also for people across the country, is how is your sister Laura doing tonight?
Well, we are all just elated beyond words. My sister is so happy to be home. She's still quite weak and exhausted and incredibly emotional. You know, she's been in relative isolation for months and months, and you know, she doesn't even like to be alone. You know, yesterday she was so exhausted and she wanted to take a quick nap, and she kept asking me, "Are you going to be here when I come back? Are you going to be here when I come back?" And you know, today we took her to the doctor's office, and you know, I wasn't planning on going to the doctor with her. My mom was going to take her, and she said, "Will you please come with me?" And you know, she hasn't wanted to be alone. And I hear from Una's husband, Michael, that Hannah, their 4-year-old daughter, has not wanted her mother to leave her sight. I mean, she just keeps following her around from room to room because she doesn't want her mom to, you know, to leave anywhere, leave her.
And I think that's probably understandable for most people, especially for parents watching this right now. Has it sunk in for you yet, Lisa, that your sister is finally home after more than, well, nearly 5 months fighting to get her here?
I have to say, Erica, when I woke up this morning, I had this sense of calm and happiness that I have not felt in months, because every time I have woken up every single day for the last 140 days, I've just like kind of dreaded the day because I knew that my sister wasn't here, and I just, when I would wake up, I would think about what she was doing or what she wasn't doing, what she couldn't do, and it really was just devastating. And so this morning, like, I woke up and I said, I'm going to go see her, and it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't want to call the house in case she was sleeping, and her husband sent me a text message saying, "We're awake." And so I was probably there within 15 or 20 minutes, because I was literally like waiting by the phone for them to call me to tell me that they were up.
Somehow I imagine, even as relieved as you were, it was probably still kind of tough to sleep last night. You mentioned her days, the fact that she was basically in isolation for at least 3.5 months, it sounds like. How did she occupy herself during that time? What did she do to try to keep her spirits up and remain positive?
It's interesting, because I think that when you are in such isolation, you do what you have to do. You know, she read a lot. We were able to send her books, and she, you know, for exercise, she said that she walked around her room, like, just, you know, for sometimes hours in a day. And you know, bathing was a little bit difficult because they didn't have hot water, and you know, the water was sporadic, so she would fill up buckets, and you know, she would say, like, "Okay, on Saturday I'm going to wash my hair," and you know, like little things like that. You know, you just have to sort of plan and adapt to a new version of normalcy.
I know too, you mentioned yesterday that there were rocks in her rice. Was she fed on a regular basis? What kind of food was she given? And did she think the rocks were intentional, or did they just end up in that bowl?
No, I think that because the North Korea has economic challenges, so she was fed 3 times a day, and she was describing, you know, a very, very simple, small meal. The portions were quite small, and you know, there was rice and you know, like a little vegetable and maybe a little piece of fried fish, to which she sort of developed a reaction afterwards. So, you know, she said that they treated her humanely, but yeah, the rocks were, she said, were not intentional.
Did she ever fear for her safety, or did she ever feel threatened?
You know, we haven't really talked too much about, you know, what happened the day of, and you know, in terms of the specifics, because I think it's really emotional for her. I mean, I know that there was a period in the beginning where she did suffer from some physical, she had a physical situation, and she did get sick once, and we had no idea because there was no communication, but overall, you know, she kept stressing, you know, they treated me humanely. And the thing that was really moving to me was, despite what she was going through, and I knew this would happen, because I got to tell you, my sister is just such a remarkable person that, I think she won a lot of her captors over. She had some really lovely things to say about the people who were, who were watching over her. She had 2 guards in her room at all times, morning and night. And even though they couldn't speak to each other, somehow they developed kind of a strange sort of kinship.
It's interesting to hear that. There's been a lot of speculation, a lot of questions, frankly, about how she and Eula were actually captured in the first place. Did she know that they had crossed into North Korean territory? Have you been able to talk to her about that?
We've talked very briefly about it, and she definitely wants to divulge exactly what happened, and I think she's going to write an editorial very, very soon that addresses it, and I want to let her do it. She did say that they touched North Korean territory very, very briefly, and then beyond that, I want to let her tell the story.
There is, of course, and I'm sure you felt it, this collective sigh of relief, these tears of joy, obviously from your family, from Euna's family, but it seemed like the entire country was so wrapped up in this. There was, though, some criticism as well as to how their release came about. CNN's Fareed Zakaria actually spoke with Secretary Hillary Clinton about that today. I just want to play a little bit of that sound for you, Lisa.
John Bolton, the former UN ambassador, says... Should I even
I'm
go
sorry.
on?
No, you really shouldn't.
But he says this is rewarding hostage taking.
Oh, well,
why is he wrong? Because they effectively took hostages.
We've done this so many times before. I mean, we've had former presidents do it. We've had sitting members of Congress do it. It is something that it is absolutely not rewarding them. It is not in any way responding to specific demands. It is a recognition that certain countries that I think are kind of beyond the pale of the rule of law hold people and subject them to long prison terms that are absolutely unfair and unwarranted. And maybe it's the fact I have a daughter, but I believed that if we could bring these young women home, we should bring them home.
So were you concerned at all that this private message may be sending the wrong message?
I've heard this. I heard John Bolton make his statement, and the fact of the matter is that Bill Clinton went to North Korea on a humanitarian mission to bring back Laura and Eula. He was on the ground maybe for less than 24 hours. 20 hours, I believe, was the duration of his stay, and that was really it. And it was communicated to me through my sister, who communicated things that she had been, told, that Bill Clinton was the person that they needed to come and get them if they were going to be released. And frankly, Bill Clinton was gracious enough to agree to do it, and we are so, so grateful. If he didn't do it, I know that the girls wouldn't be here right now.
Lisa, again, we can't thank you enough for talking with us.